What's up, YouTube? This is Rainbow coming today with another YouTube video. Today I'm going to put you guys up to date on the recent happenings and what's going to be happening in the coming weeks of my life. So pretty much this gameplay, first off, obviously is a Hardpoint Raid, and it's actually the viewer challenge that me and Jacob had. As you can see, the 3 players on my team and the 3 players on Jacob's team, you probably never heard of, or maybe you're friends with them. But pretty much me and Jacob decided to have a friendly competition with my viewers versus his viewers, and pretty much the rules were whoever won the map kept the players that they had on their team, and whoever lost had to switch their players out. And we ended up playing a best of 5 since it was 2-2, and I wanted to go play with my girlfriend. And the last map of this match is actually on my channel. It was the video yesterday. So pretty much let's get on to it. So first off, I want to talk about what's going to be happening in the coming weeks. So pretty much this is my last week living where I live now in my apartment in Ottawa, for the main reason because I am moving to the Envy house. For those of you that have not heard of this before, Envy does have a house. We've had it for a few years now, and pretty much multiple players live there, mainly the old players that were on the team prior. Been living there. Prue's been living there for a little while now as well, kind of back and forth from his place to the house. But pretty much I'm going to be moving there. Karma and Proofy are already there, and I'm going to be joining them, and it's going to be all 3 of us. Jacob will not be at the house solely because he's still in school at the University of Delaware, I believe. So he's going to keep going with that. Obviously, not a bad choice in his spot. His parents really want him to keep going with that. So maybe at some point he'll be joining us, but for now, that's going to be what's going to be happening. So pretty much I'm going to PAX. Well, my team is obviously attending PAX, the event, which is an invitational event happening next week. I believe the event is from Friday to Monday, if I'm correct. So for all of those of you who live in the area and maybe can get their hands on PAX passes, I know those are pretty hard to get. So obviously I'm not sure if you're gonna need a pass to actually get into the event and kind of spectate. That I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes there was some parts of that when I was there last year. Actually, the event is in Seattle, by the way, for those who don't know. But when I was there last year for my NOS thing, it was actually a lot of fun. And there was some parts of the venue that were not necessarily, you didn't need a pass to get into or whatever. So I'm not entirely sure how. So to get more information on that, I'm sure you can visit the MLG site and get the information you need to know that there. But pretty much next Thursday I'm leaving for Seattle for PAX. From Seattle, actually I leave Tuesday, and from there I'm going to be going to see my girlfriend for most likely around a week. And then from there I'll be going to the Envy house in North Carolina. So pretty much this is my last week living in Ottawa for hopefully not ever. I don't dislike Ottawa by no means, but I definitely like Montreal better, to be honest. If I ever had to come back to Canada and Quebec wasn't that big of an issue for whatever I would do in the future, I would definitely prefer living in Montreal. I think Montreal is a much more interesting city. A lot more happens there, and pretty much obviously all my friends and family live in that area. So definitely a place that I would personally prefer to go back to. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about as far as the recent events. Obviously, the Envy House is going to have a lot of things. We're going to have a lot of content for you guys. There's going to be a lot of YouTube stuff going on, a lot of streams going on, a lot of fun. We're going to have We're going to have a lot of contests as far as the house is concerned. I'm really excited, to be honest. A gaming house has been something that I wanted to do for probably the past 3 years of my life. To be honest, ever since I first heard of the gaming house thing, and like I said, I've been doing this for a living. I've really wanted to be a part of something like this. I really feel like that's something that's a lot of fun to do. I have a really good relationship with my teammates. It's something that I definitely don't think is going to be a bad thing. Obviously, in no way, shape, or form. We saw Optic do it this year, but Optic's doing it a bit differently than I really plan on doing it. But regardless, we're really looking to move into house for multiple reasons. I think the main reason why we're trying to do this is really to get competitive as a team and bring our competition game to the next level. It's trying to raise the game to new heights and use the house as a kind of like a training ground to really help us better ourselves as players, as a team, and kind of, like I said, get this thing to the next level. Try and get our team back on the winning track, obviously. And then, obviously, from that point, we can also do all the stuff Optic does, obviously, with YouTube streaming and stuff like that. That's obviously part of the deal. When you have a house, it's a lot. It's pretty easy to do. I mean, it's kind of like the base of it, to be honest. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be doing a lot of streams with you guys. If you're just anything you want to see for like a YouTube series, for the team, obviously that's going to be super easy now that we're all going to be pretty much living with each other. So there's going to be a lot of different things we'll be able to do to make this very interesting for us and for you guys as well. So the next topic I want to talk about as this game reaches half point is what's been happening with Envy recently. So pretty much there's been a lot of confusion as to why Envy's been struggling as far as placing. There's a lot of things we can debate here and there. I mean, pretty much the first two events we were with Stainville, which was the first two events we had a struggle, which was MLG Anaheim and Gfinity. I really feel like we were lost as a team at that point. I haven't really discussed this with many people at all, or even my teammates, but I really feel like those events were we didn't really mesh as a team anymore. We've made a lot of different changes for those two events as far as how to play the game. I really feel like we kind of like took a step back and changed too many things of our team that pretty much made it not work. So there was a lot of problems, a lot of things that happened at that point that we felt like obviously needed to change. It really wasn't really because Stainville was the one that was slacking. It was really just because we just didn't feel comfortable with our roles at that point. And it really it really just felt like it was really the main reason why I felt a change was needed. So, but yeah, to come to the back point, to the main point, we placed pretty poorly at UMG Atlanta with Karma. That was our first tournament with Karma. A lot of people were really hard on us, I guess, for our placings. I mean, that's very debatable. The reasoning, there's not much of a reason why we lost. We just couldn't win a hard point. It was really the main reason why we didn't do well that tournament. We lost a very close game to Ego's team again. Was really harsh. That hard point was a very close game as well. And then we ended up really that was the last minute play on CTF. Was obviously, for most of you saw that video, it was really it was pretty much just things happen and things didn't really go our way. So I'm not really going to go over that too much. We made a fight with Impact, but like I said, we just couldn't win a hard point to save our lives that tournament. So that's pretty much what we've been working on. To come back to the main point, it's pretty much what we've been working on the most since that event. Hard point is definitely one of the things that I feel is one of the very important game types to understand in this game. If you look at complexity standpoint, complexity masters hardpoint like no other team. There's not one team out there that understands the game type more than they do right now. And that's really what I feel has been the big success in this game. In past games, you look at like Search and Destroy won pretty much tournaments. But now if you really look at it at a wide perspective, the teams that have been winning this year are the teams that have mastered hardpoint at the best. If we look at Impact on their 4-tournament run, Impact was definitely by far the best hardpoint team. They weren't the best Search team. They weren't the best CTF team. They were very good at CTF. But pretty much, you're going to win, you're going to lose some CTS. But hardpoint is the one game type that if you understand more than other teams, it almost seems like that's where the skill gap is right now as far as game types. It's really hard to be consistent in Search and Destroy and in CTF as well, just because of the score streaks and what can happen in the CTF game. It's very short game, and it's very it's very almost like saying, okay, I'm gonna make this point kind of differently now. I'm gonna try and explain this in a better way. If you look at hardpoint, it's kind of like 10 different games in one game. So you can have a bad section of a game, but whoever wins the most points in the game, whoever's going to get the most hills controlled, is going to team that's going to win the game most likely. So that's really the point I'm trying to make right now, is the fact that if you look at a CTF game, you have two sides to the game, and it's pretty much any kind of crazy situation can make it alter the game. While hardpoint is really about constant situation changing and constant the map movement, and that's really why I feel like the game type is probably the biggest skill gap in the game, regardless of how much crappy stuff can happen. If you understand the game type really well and you play it right, you're most likely going to win a lot if you're in gunfights. So obviously, I feel like that's definitely it's definitely not a lack of skill on Envy, the reason why we've been placing wrong. It's just because we haven't been playing the game types the way we should be playing them as far as hardpoint is concerned. So I hope that kind of clears things up for our fans. Some of you have been disappointed, obviously. It's completely understandable. Obviously, placing really crappy like we have lately is, really, when you think about it, it really shouldn't happen. But another point I want to make, as far as maybe trying to help you guys understand a bit, is the fact that we've had so many tournaments this year that, every tournament after another is kind of like a streak. So if you're on a tough streak and you play 2 or 3 tournaments in 1 month, you're obviously not going to have the best placings in those tournaments. You can't figure out what's going wrong and try and help your team and get your team back on track. It takes time sometimes to take a team back on track, and sadly that's what's been happening with us. So mainly, if you look at Impact, for example, Impact won the four events they won in a row were all within a month and a half, which is obviously if you're a team that's really hot right now for a month, then you're obviously going to be more prompt to win more tournaments. So not taking anything away from them or Complexity, obviously they've been very good this year and very strong at what they're doing. Obviously, if you look at Complexity in the past few events, they've been pretty much dominating pretty much most of the events. So. And same thing with Impact when they were winning. So obviously, by no means am I taking credit away from those teams. They're very strong teams, and I'm really looking forward to trying to take Complexity out and obviously have a rematch against Impact. I really want to beat Impact again. That'd be a really fun part to this season. So there are a few tournaments left this season. To move on with the conversation, we have from what I know right now, We have for sure packs. We have UMG Dallas and Gfinity. I'm not sure if I heard there's like I think there's another event as far as MLG is concerned, another like invite only event. I believe it's only 14 minutes based on pro points, so technically we're probably a bit far behind on that since we haven't played these online tournaments, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope if there's any questions, and go ahead and ask them in the comment section about anything I've spoken today. If you have questions about the house and such, I'll try and keep up with the comments. And as always, guys, I really hope you guys have a great day. And sorry again for the recent placings. I'm really looking to fix that for my team and really get our game back on to the highest level and be able to compete for wins again. So hope you guys have a great day again, guys. Peace.